and welcome to another video. And before I start, I wanted to quickly say that if you find this video interesting or informative in any way, I'd appreciate it if you dropped it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Anyway, let's get on with it. So last week I made a video where I talked about becoming a full-time YouTuber. Now in that video, I touched on my income and asked you guys whether you'd be interested in seeing a separate video on that topic, and the response was pretty categorical. On top of that, YouTube income, so like how much money YouTubers make, is a topic I hear discussed all the time amongst my friends and in like non-YouTube circles, so I thought it would be an awesome subject for a video. So the plan today is to talk about my own personal income, because that's obviously what I have the most information about. Then I'm also going to move on to like how much some of the biggest and most popular YouTubers make on YouTube. Now, to use myself as an example, I have three main YouTube related revenue sources, and they are online coaching, sponsorships, and YouTube itself. The first point I want to touch on is that there are not many YouTubers out there who are making all of their income from YouTube alone. The vast majority of the big YouTubers that you guys watch will make a lot of money outside of YouTube from sources like I touched on a minute ago that are related to YouTube but not directly through YouTube. And the reason for that is that banking on YouTube income as your salary alone is very, very risky, purely because YouTube income fluctuates so much. Over the course of the year, it can change dramatically, and I'm going to get onto that a little bit later on. So like I said, there are other revenue streams outside of YouTube, but they tend to stem from YouTube. So for example, in my case, my online coaching is obviously separate from YouTube. However, all of my clients are people who subscribe to my channel and watch my channel, and so have approached me as a result of watching me on YouTube. Similarly, my sponsorships are separate from YouTube, but all of them hinge on the fact that I'm using their products and talking about their products in my videos, again on YouTube. So basically, although those other revenue sources are separate from YouTube, without YouTube they wouldn't exist. So let's break down YouTube income into the three main areas I just touched on. The first and smallest of my three sources of income is money from YouTube views alone. So basically the way that works is that YouTube will have adverts on their videos, right? If you go and watch about this video now, at the start there would have been probably some kind of advert, either like one of those skippable ones or like a little banner down the bottom, which an advertiser has paid YouTube to put on the videos. As a result, YouTube will then pay the YouTuber based on a number of factors, such as the number of views that video receives. Now, in terms of how much money I physically make from YouTube views, like per month, it's really hard to say because it fluctuates so much. Now, to give you an example of this, in September I made approximately $1,500, and yet this month I'm going to make around $500, and that's off the same number of videos. Now, of course, some of the videos have got different views, but that's the same number of videos, the same amount of work that I've personally put in, and yet the amount that YouTube pays you fluctuates dramatically. And that's why I was saying that you should never rely on YouTube as your sole source of income, because like I said, it's very, very risky. However, to give you a general overview, I'm going to show you the website Social Blade, which gives you a really good insight into how much money YouTubers make. So here you can see my personal Social Blade page. Now, you can type in any YouTuber's name and then Social Blade, and this will come up. You can see it for YouTube, you can see it for Instagram, and I believe you can see it for other social media. And what it gives you is an estimate for how much money that person is earning as a result of YouTube. So you can see it has all the irrelevant crap like total grade and like subscriber rank and video view rank. As you can see by that, I'm a bit of a peasant by YouTube standards. But if you look at the bottom, it gives you your estimated monthly earnings and your estimated yearly earnings. Now, I know what you're thinking, that's a pretty vast gap, and it is. Basically, it's an estimate, but it's actually fairly accurate if you know what you're looking for. So to use me as an example, you can see my estimated yearly earnings are around £700 to just over £11,000. Now, again, that's a pretty drastic gap, but I generally fall about halfway, just above halfway, maybe about 60% of that, okay? So you can basically look at any other YouTuber, you can look at their estimated monthly earnings, their estimated yearly earnings, and if you work out roughly 60% or like just above the middle of those two figures, that's gonna give you a pretty clear indication of how much money that person is making through YouTube. So let's make it exciting and look at some of the bigger YouTubers. Logan Paul. So you can see by looking at his Social Blade, his estimated monthly earnings are around 38 to 613k, freaking hell, and his estimated yearly earnings are 460k to 7.4 million pounds. Now, again, using the rough estimation, which like I said is pretty accurate for me and the people I've spoken to, you can safely say he's earning about £3.5 million a year just from YouTube views alone. Then we have Jake Paul, pretty similar income. Again, safe to say he's earning just over £3.5 million a year from YouTube views. And then finally we have PewDiePie, the big dog. So you can see there his estimated monthly monthly earnings £52,000 to £840,000, and then estimated yearly earnings 630k to £10.1 million, which means that PewDiePie is earning in the region of £5 million a year just from YouTube views alone. And the reason I say YouTube views alone is that someone like Logan Paul sells a freaking huge amount of merchandise, clothing, etc. So you can safely say he's earning a significant amount more than just the amount he gets from his YouTube views, like double, triple, maybe even 4 times that. Anyway, in terms of where the money actually comes from, here you can see my top 10 highest earning videos. Now, aside from the fact that compared to those last YouTubers I feel like an absolute homeless man, what's also significant is that pretty much all of those are food challenges, which means 2 things. Firstly, you guys are all perverts, and secondly, viral videos make the most money, which is why people are always striving to make them. Obviously, aside from the fact that it pulls in more subscribers, more viewers to your channel, it's also a really good way to make some income. However, it's not as simple as views equals money. So for example, you can look at this other graphic. This shows you my top 10 most viewed videos, and as you can see, there's not a complete correlation. So basically, some of the videos that were my highest earners are not my highest viewed videos, and that's because there are a number of factors which influence revenue. So although the views are the most important factor, the length of the video, the time of the year you post it, and the number of adverts on the video all have a big impact. So a quick insight into adverts: anytime a YouTuber posts a video that's 10 minutes or longer, it gives you the ability to post numerous adverts throughout that video. So I personally will only ever post 1 advert on a video because I find it's freaking annoying. Like if I'm watching someone else's video and there's like advert, you know, you see it, the little timeline down the bottom, loads of little yellow dots. If that happens, I'm gonna skip straight off the video. But other YouTubers might make like a 20-30 minute video, put say 10 adverts in it, and like times their income from that video by 5. So if you're clever about it, you can make a good amount of money, but obviously it's a very fine balance between making money and pissing people off. Whew, that was a friggin' vast area. Anyway, moving on to my second most profitable income source, and that's online coaching. Now, in case you're unaware of what this is, online coaching basically entails someone paying me to send them a training program and a diet plan, and then keep in touch via email. Now, this is a very common source of income amongst fitness YouTubers, and it's friggin' awesome because obviously I can do this job anywhere around the world. I can go on holiday and all I need is my laptop and I can continue making money as an online coach. As far as how much money I make from online coaching, this is far more consistent than my YouTube income, but it still fluctuates somewhat. So the cheapest package I offer is £185 and the most expensive is £415, depending on the length of it and what it entails, and I generally have about 15 to 25 clients, depending on how busy I am. So if I feel like I have more time, like recently where I've gone full time, I've taken on more clients, and other times where I think I'm going to be more busy and have more things on my hands, I'll drop down a few clients so that I have more time to do it, because obviously the last thing I want is not to offer a good service. And my final and most profitable revenue source is sponsors. Now, sponsorships come in 2 forms: salary and commission. Again, to use myself as an example, I have companies who pay me a fixed salary each month. So I've signed a contract which says you guys are going to pay me this, and in return I'm obliged to do this, this and this. And those obligations can be anything from using a product in a video, talking about a product in a video, or referring you guys to a link in my description. And talking about links in my description, that takes me on nicely to the second form of sponsorship, and that's commission. So if you look in the description of all of my videos, you'll see a link, for example, to the MyProtein website. Now, if you click on that link and you go to the MyProtein website, anything you buy is affiliated to me. And what that means is that I get a very small cut of the amount of money that you just spent. And on top of that, I also have a code. So with MyProtein, for example, my code is Matt20. Now, if you use this code, again, that sale is affiliated to me, and again, I take a small cut of the amount of money that you've spent. And that's why sometimes in videos, I'll talk about the link in my description, and I'll talk about my code, because obviously if you guys use it, it helps me out. And that is pretty much that. Now, I know I haven't given you exact figures as far as my income goes, but to give you a rough idea, I just quit my job as a teacher. Now, I was a full-time teacher, and my income from my sponsorships is far more than I was making as a teacher. So if you then add on to that the fact that I get the money from YouTube and I get the money from online coaching, I'm in a pretty good position. But again, compared to the likes of Logan Paul and Jake Paul, I'm a freaking peasant. Now, just quickly before I finish, obviously I've talked about the 3 main areas how I make my money through YouTube. There are other areas, so things like merchandise, for example, and like one-off product placements and sponsorships. So for example, a couple of months ago, Nokia paid me to make 3 videos using their new phone, but to be honest, I very rarely do these, just because I feel like pushing products all the time comes across as really disingenuous. Plus, it's really important to me that any product I promote, I use regularly and I genuinely like. You know, like if I started talking about like my new carpet cleaner or how I love Captain Birdseye's freaking vegan fish fingers, you'd be like, hang on a minute. Anyway, I'm going to end the video there because otherwise I will literally never stop talking like it is some kind of disorder I have. Like I said at the start, if you did enjoy the video, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow.